Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Y'all get into the room, because we are talking about credit repair tonight. And I don't know which of you needs to work on your credit today, but I'm telling you right now, if you are strolling past this live right now, it's not by accident. You are supposed to be here. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the enemy was trying to take down this live tonight. The technology was technology, and we were supposed to start at 5 o'clock. It's 5:23, and I don't like to be late. I don't like to waste y'all time. However, the technology was technology, which always tells me that the enemy is trying to keep you from hearing your word. But one thing about us, me and Talisha, me and the guests that we got coming on today, we don't play about y'all. So we're going to show up with the time that we got left. And since we don't got as much time as we had, we're going to get right on into it. Now, if debt, more specifically, a credit issue is stressing you out, you ain't in this live by accident. You need to be in here. Okay, so tag a friend who you know who got some credit issues. Tell them, hey, I just came across this live. I don't even know what they talk about right now, but they calling us out, okay? Come into the room because we're talking about credit nightmares. If you have ever been scared to check your mail because just the thought of seeing another delinquent notice stresses you out so that you ignore the mail and let it pile up. If you got a number calling you so much that you can recite that number by heart, and you already know it's a bill collector, I want to tell you something. Because I know you're thinking this in your head. I'm lazy. I'm irresponsible. You're not. You're not even necessarily bad with money, truth be told. What you are is in survival mode. Most specifically, you are in credit crisis mode. And right now, there are more people living in this situation than ever. Credit card debt, do you guys know this, just hit a record $1.1 trillion. Interest rates are going up. Collection agencies are more aggressive than they've been in years. And when panic sets in, logic walks out the door. And that's when scammers slide in. Social media is flooded with so-called credit repair experts who barely know the laws that they are quoting, promising you 700 credit scores in 7 days. Okay? Wow. Everyday folks can't get through the workday without 5 collection costs. Okay? It's all bullshit. Okay? I see it all the time. People panicking after court summons shows up and getting scammed, trying to fix what they didn't even fully understand. And so tonight, we are kicking off a wonderful series. Y'all know I like a good unfuckwittable, a financially unfuckwittable theme, okay? And tonight we are kicking off Unfuckwittable Credit series with the topic most people wait too long to talk about. What do you do when you are in credit crisis mode? So we're talking about court summons, garnishments, debt collectors, the moments when fear kicks in. And so I've got my girl, Talisha, with us. I'm gonna bring her to the stage. And for those of y'all who are like, to the stage, you probably in TikTok land because you don't see her right now, okay? And if you would like to see her, and I would encourage you to, you go and want to click the link in my bio and head over to the YT land. I can't say it all the way because I don't want TT to shut me down. YT in my bio. You can get into this conversation. Now you can stay here. I don't mind because I'm gonna look over here and check your questions, but come all the way over here if you want to see her face, and I encourage you to, okay? So I got my girl Talisha on with me. How you doing, baby girl? Listen, she is the woman who has probably trained your favorite credit repair pro, okay? I'm gonna pause. I know you want to introduce, but I need to brag on you for a little bit. Can I brag on you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because black women, we, you know, one thing we're good at is we hyping each other up, okay? And I need to brag on my sis for a little bit, okay? She has probably trained one of your credit repair pros, okay? She has helped hundreds of families fix their credit, buy homes, and build legacies. So when I tell you she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. And I don't say that lightly because my reputation depends on that, okay? Let me tell you. For those of y'all who are like, well, who the hell are you? Because some of y'all don't know me. Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. Okay, who the hell are you? I am B, the budgeting baddie, ADHD money coach, founder of Young, Rich, and Rooted, host of Financially Unfuckwittable series, right? And we talk to industry experts that help you feel more confident in taking your next steps and improving your financial health. And I'm on a mission to help gifted Black women with ADHD, women who have experienced trauma, depression, anxiety, and just generally overwhelmed by lifing, love themselves back to wealth. And I want to build a community of women who have the audacity to want more choices in life, shift from feeling financially frustrated to feeling financially unfuckwittable. If that sounds like you, go ahead and hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, depending on where you are. Double tap the screen and say, yes, that sounds like it. Give us a round of applause with a double tap on the screen. Give yourself a round of applause for refusing to stay stuck where you are and coming into this live, because you can be anywhere today. Y'all just clocked out of work, but you clocked back into yourself, and I'm proud of you. Okay. Grab your notebook, okay, and a pen, because it's that kind of live, okay? She's giving gems tonight, I promise you, okay? Grab your notebook, grab your pens. Tell me where you're from in the chat, because the state you're from is going to matter. This is a credit conversation, so we want to know, where are you watching from right now? If you're watching a replay, type replay in the chat. But if you're live with me tonight, tell us what state you are in. And like I said, I like to brag on my friends. So I like to bring the heavy hitters, because I don't just bring anybody to the table. And when it comes to credit, the next guest, she is not just in the game. Again, she is training the players, okay? If you ever wanted to be board certified credit repair pro, she is one of their trainers, okay? You go to the board, you get trained by her, okay? So your favorite credit repair pro was probably trained by the person we have on the screen right here, Coach Talisha. You know what? I never know how to pronounce the tell me, is it
Chonece?
Chonece.
Mm-hmm.
Tanisha, listen, I've been double dutching that in my head for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been too scared to ask you, so I'm asking y'all out. Talisha Chonece, aka Coach T, is the powerhouse of a luxury legacy consulting and high class hustle academy. She is board certified consultant, a Forbes for Culture honoree, and has helped over 500 families become first time homeowners. What I love most about her is she teaches credit with the heart. She doesn't just fix numbers. She helps people rebuild their confidence, strategy, and legacy. So Talisha, welcome, sis. I am so glad to have you here tonight. Go ahead and unmute yourself and wave to the people.
Hey, look, I think I'm unmuted. Hi, y'all. Everybody, I'm so excited to be here. Coach B, thank you for having me.
Thank you for
allowing me to talk to your community. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited, y'all. And I'm sad that we only gonna get 30 minutes to really get into this conversation, because I had so much to talk about, but due to the tech, we're gonna find a way to get it in. If we have to Coach T, I would just proactively ask you, you know, if we could just have you for another night, if we don't get to, I know we got it. I know we already scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday, but
I'm here. That means that y'all gotta work. Y'all gotta talk to us. Don't let us talk to ourselves. Y'all, we got good information to give. So ask your questions. Make sure you showing up so that we can come back and make this make sense.
Ooh, all right, we got Virginia in the house. We got Nashville in the house. More VA in the house. Welcome. I love it. I love it. All over the nation. I love it. Okay. So are y'all ready to talk about these credit questions, y'all? Tell me yes in the comments if you're ready. If you're ready, put ready in the chat so I know y'all ready to talk about credit. Put ready in the chat so I know you ready to talk about credit. TikTok, if y'all wonder why I'm not looking directly at y'all, because we over here on the YT land over here, but I'm still trying to pay y'all some attention. So go ahead and you guys follow the prompts too. Put it in the chat tonight, Talisha. Tonight we are talking about credit crisis. So I want to start where most people are when they finally reach out, the moment where panic sets in. I've had clients literally freeze when they get a summons. In fact, I had a new client who recently called me, panicked after getting a court summons. And I wanted to get into some advice that you shared with me. Not yet. In a few minutes. We're going to table that for a second. I want to get into that in a few minutes. But before we go there, you know that as a financial coach, I specialize in mental health as it relates to money. And so I want to help people create nervous system, safe money plans. So I want to give our audience a little bit of context about what I observe is happening first. When your brain believes you are in danger, whether it's physically or financially, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. And you shift into fight, flight, freeze. And so some people might only think about this danger happening when there's like a physical threat, but getting a letter that your wages are about to be garnishing can trigger you into the same fight, flight, or freeze. And in your finances, fight could look like going off on your bill collector. Flight might look like running away from the debt or distracting yourselves by shopping. Mm-hmm. Tell me if any of these are like that. Are they sounding like responses you've seen? Okay. Freeze might look like doing nothing or shutting down. How many of your clients are coming to you after like years of just like, I ain't answered the mail. I didn't. Right?
I knew I was there.
Okay. All right. When you're triggered like that, a debt collector feels like a bear chasing you. And so it's hard for your brain to make really good financial decisions when your nervous system is screaming danger. And so for any of y'all who are watching right now, when you guys are feeling triggered like that, the first thing that you need to do is to calm your nervous system. And that's as simple as a couple of deep breaths can do that for y'all. So y'all, we're going to talk about a topic that I know could be stressing y'all out. I want y'all to take a deep breath with us on the line real quick. One deep breath in and a long deep breath out. Because Talisha going to talk about a topic right now that's got y'all on edge right now. You're like, I don't even want to look at my credit score. Let's take a deep breath in. We're going to take a deep breath out, okay? So y'all ready? Y'all relaxed? Y'all calm? Y'all feeling good? Y'all took a deep breath? Okay, we got more jerseys in the house. We got Jersey in the house, all right? That's my home state for those of y'all who don't know. Welcome. Okay, so the client called me, and she called me like, I got this letter in the mail. Should I even go? That was her first question to me, right? And so she's like, should I go? And I was like, okay, first of all, I want to applaud you for calling. I want to applaud you for doing the first step, because most of the time people shut down. They don't do anything. They hide it. I'm going to get to it later, to procrastinate on it. And so this is probably how we got to the situation where you get the summons in the first place, because they hid from the bill collectors calling, right? And so my first piece of advice to her was like, absolutely do not go to court. Go to court, because they're going to win by default, right? And so is that a good first piece of advice? You tell me.
Absolutely. You should go to court, just like you should open up those letters. We miss so much money, so absolutely go to court, because that could change what you owe and how much you owe. Or it could change your actual say-so. A lot of times people don't understand that even if you're setting up an arrangement so that your income isn't garnished, you have to take so many additional steps if you don't go to court, with first asking them to reconsider. Then you have to set up a payment plan, and that may be what they want versus what you can actually afford. So yes, absolutely go.
So you got payment plans, timing. Okay. Y'all, was that helpful to y'all? Was that helpful? Okay. My next piece of advice to her was to send a debt validation letter. Okay. Was that good advice?
Absolutely. That's actually the next thing that I was going to say. Before court, a lot of times court, they're going to give you a date that's at least 30 days away. There's not many cases that you're going to get something that's a week or two away. Send a validation letter. The reason for that is because you're simply asking, and that's based upon law, you're asking them to validate a debt. Because let's be honest, anybody nowadays especially can go get an 800 number. They can call you and say, hey, you owe this debt, because these are public records. This is not something that's a secret, right? And because of that, it's actually something that they can call and say, hey, this is the debt you owe. These are the ways of making those payments. And now you've made a payment to a company that doesn't exist. So asking for validation, this is something that a lot of us don't know. Asking for that validation puts you in position that they have to provide it. And that's based upon law. They have to give you validation and validate the debt before they continue to collect. So if they have not provided you that before your court date, you go in there, you say, hey, I sent the validation letter on this day, provide them with documentation, and then they did not reply or they did not provide me with that. In those cases, they will close and dismiss that case because proper steps haven't been taken.
Y'all, was that good? Was that good, y'all?
Yes.
T. Let us know. Some of y'all got court summonses and y'all was scared. Y'all wasn't going to show up. Okay. So I gave her those pieces of advice because I knew to do that. It's been a long time since I did credit repair work. And I stopped there because laws change all the time. And I'm one of a big girl. I'm one of them girls who are like, I stay in my lane. Okay, I don't pretend to know everything I don't know. I believe I'm a trust but verify kind of girl. I'm a lifetime learner. You know, the young and young rich rooted means are willing to learn. And so I told her, I said, hey, here's the first two things because it was a timely decision. You need to take action right away. Don't definitely go to court, set a debt validation letter. I said, but I'm gonna triple check with my credit repair friend just to make sure there isn't anything else that you can do before this deadline. But I really recommend you setting up a consultation with her. Reached out to you and you spilled some tea that I hadn't even thought about. It was when I mentioned the company because I'm like, it's a third party company. This is the company. Please tell, because I need the audience to hear this information because I'm like, I completely forgot about. Let's go. Can you talk about state laws as it relates to credit repair and really even before the debt validation, like what that step looks like?
Got you. So what I want y'all to do for me so that the people that are coming in can get it and they know where we are, I want y'all to drop FDCPA in the comments. FDCPA. Okay? Because we're going to talk a lot about that. That's one thing that you have to know. One of the most important things, and that's the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act. That act is in place to ensure that you are protected as a consumer from any debt collection agency. So if you are in a situation where one, you're being sued, or you even receive a collection letter, the first thing that you want to do, and that's whatever state you're in, go to your Secretary of State's website and verify that that company has an active debt collection license. You cannot collect on a debt if you do not have an active license. And a lot of times, there's companies out there, y'all, that will call you and collect on a debt that they don't have license to collect on. And I know you're going to ask yourself, well, why would they do that, Coach T? Why would they collect on a debt? That's illegal, right? Think about it like this. How many times have you seen that the speed limit was 45 and 60 because nobody was there, right? You knew it was considered breaking the law, but because there wasn't anybody there, you decided to do it anyway. The only time you was going to make a decision to slow down is if you saw what? A police officer or a state trooper, right? It's the same thing. Once a consumer actually starts showing, I know what I'm talking about. You're violating my rights, and let me show you how. You're not even licensed to collect. Take a snippet of that, add it to your letter. You're not licensed to collect in my state. So not only are you attempting to collect the debt in my state unlawfully, but you're also impacting my credit. You're impacting my livelihood and my mental, because a lot of the laws in the FDCPA are put into place and you're the only person that can determine what that means. So we are more powerful than we think. There are acts in constitutional codes that are in place to protect you. And until you know those, it's going to be difficult to know what to respond to, who to respond to, because how many of y'all knew just because they attempted to collect the debt and did not have a license, you're entitled to $1,000?
Come on.
Did you know that in 30 days?
Wait. I need to pause on this one because you just went, listen, because I want y'all to pick up what you just said. A company reached out to you to tell you you owe them some money. But because they were not licensed in their state and you pull their card, now they owe you $1,000. Mm-hmm. Baby, I've been answering these debt collection calls so fast to find out. So
I'm going to give you another one. Because a lot of people don't, and put yes in the comments, because I know a lot of us do not answer those calls. We don't even answer unknown calls because we already know, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know that you're missing money there too? The FDCPA says if they call me before 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, 9 p.m., I think it's 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. in some states, on that Friday, if they contact me before or after those hours, they're entitled to $1,000. If they call me at work That's a violation. I'm entitled to $1,000. Even if you get on the phone and I say, hey, Coach B, you owe me some money and I need you to give that to me. How do you want to make the payment? I owe you $1,000. Why is that? Because the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act states when you get on the phone, you have to, one, identify yourself, and you have to tell me this is an attempt to collect the debt, and any information obtained shall be used for that purpose. If we don't answer the phone, we don't even know that they violated those rights.
That's all we got for you. Clock it, okay? Literally. So this should be making y'all like look forward to your next phone call. Like you should be like, you can't wait until your next phone call so you can do some research. So let me ask you a question. If what is the person's next step? So like they get the phone call, how do they go find out if they're valid in their state? And then if they find out, man, they're not, do they reach out to you to figure out how to challenge and go get their money? How do they go get their money?
It's a couple of ways, right? You can always call me and I'll help you. You can either join my community or do it yourself. A lot of times we think that it has to be very, very specific, very, very strategic. These acts were not put in place for professionals. They were put in place for consumers. So a simple letter that said, first things first, you have to understand what those laws are, right? That's the first thing. You have to be able to quote those. But once you've identified they're not licensed to collect in my state, you respond to the inquiry that they sent you. And you attach a screenshot and says, hey, you asked me to respond to your request on this day. I noticed that you're not licensed to collect in my state, which is a violation of my rights under the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act, right? And I'm gonna throw some of those codes at you all too, but you can include those United States codes and then send it back to them. And I always encourage, when you're sending a letter like that, send it certified. I want to know you got it. I'm going to make you sign for it. So when you tell me you never received it, I have a copy of the confirmation that you did.
So that actually answers, I think, one of the questions that we got in the comments is, does it have to be sent to them via certified mail?
I would. It doesn't have to be, but I would, especially when you're contacting a collector, a debt collector, or a collection agency, because you want record that they got your information. Because normally once you begin to dispute your accounts, they're going to start communicating a lot more frequently. You want to make sure you have all records of that. The same way we keep records of our kids and their shot records and their school records, do the same thing with your credit. Keep a record of it, because if they mess up something else really small, and this is something that recently changed. So like you said, always be a student. One of the additional laws that has been adjusted is the amount of times a collection agency can call you within a week's time. If they have called you and you answered the phone, they cannot contact you. If they've made contact, they cannot contact you again within 7 days. So if I call you back on Wednesday after calling you on Monday, I violated your rights, right? If you send a letter, anytime y'all send a letter, I'm gonna give y'all a secret. Always require them to cease all communication, whether it's directly or indirectly, until they have validated the debt. What have you done there? You've opened up the door to say, if they call you after receiving your letter, they violated your rights because they did not follow your request to stop communication until they've done what they're supposed to do. All of these things are important.
Y'all, did I not tell y'all that I was bringing in a pro, that she know what she's talking about? I told y'all I bring y'all the best, okay? I bring y'all the best. If y'all watching this live, give her some love in the comments, okay? If she's helping you out right now, say yes, yes in the comments. Yes, yes in the comments. If she's helping y'all out right now, say yes, yes in the comments. My mama in here, she said good info. Okay, hey, mommy. Hey. All right. Okay, so you got ahead of me because I was going to say, what other laws that they don't know about? But you just out here giving, okay? So I want to get into another stage. I want to talk about the vulnerability stage, because you and I both see this every day. You know, people get scared. That's when scammers slide in, okay? Okay. What are the biggest predatory scams people have to look out for? And yeah, let's start right there. What are the biggest predatory scams that people got to look out for?
I'm glad you asked. Okay, this is my favorite focal topic. So the most important thing is a guarantee. Just like I told you, the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act requires certain things for the collection agency to do. Guess what? There's a thing called the Credit Repair Organizations Act, which requires a certain level of responsibility of me as the professional servicing you as the consumer. One of the things that you want to pay close attention to is a guaranteed number change. If I promise you on this live session that I can get you a 700 credit score in 30 days, I have violated the CROA laws. Okay. If I tell you that I can guarantee this amount of deletions in a certain amount of time, I have violated your rights. Okay. If I say I'm doing it in 14 days, if you hear the word sweet, all of these things run. Okay. Can I, is this a
red flag?
Be honest? Can I be honest with them? Can I tell them the truth?
Tell them.
So I'm gonna tell y'all something that most people don't know, because this is where our community it gets impacted the most, because we don't ask enough questions. You have to ask a lot of questions when it's your personal information. If you are looking to work with a credit specialist and you don't, and they seem like they're irritated with your questions, that's not the right person for you. This is your financial life. It literally determines tomorrow. One of the things I want to tell you all, because a lot of people do not know this, is that when people say we are going to do a sweep on your credit to remove it in 14 days, I'm going to tell you the two things that could be happening. One, a police report is filed stating that you've been a victim of identity theft. The law is bigger than you filing to say that you were a victim of identity theft. That's a false police report. That's a whole different part of getting in trouble, right? The second way people are doing disputes is by stating that you were a victim of trafficking, whatever that looks like. This stuff goes on your credit, okay? So listen, my biggest saying, and all of my following will tell you, one thing I'm going to tell you, if you didn't mess your credit up overnight, don't expect to fix it overnight.
Come on.
Time. There's laws in place to protect you that state they have 30 days to respond. So 7 days is not enough time legally. When we're talking about constitutional law, it's not enough time for them to respond. So be very careful of that, because it can impact your livelihood in the end.
Right. And I want to, you got into a part I was going to go into, because I was thinking about different types of scams, but specifically around credit repair. There's a lot of people out here that gives this trade a bad reputation, and they are legitimate people out here like you who can help you. But because they have trusted somebody and they've put their livelihood at risk, because they could go to jail for this, they can be fined for this. The industry is tainted. And there's another red flag I would love for you to talk about. Is there are people who are in what I would consider like the MLM or Mary Kay of credit repair services. They don't actually do the credit repair work, and they don't know. And this is why I'm really particular about who I partner with, who I build relationships with. Yeah. Whether it's a credit repair person or a real estate agent or whoever it is, I always like to have the conversation, insurance agent, whomever, to really understand your competency in your profession and your heart towards your client in your profession. And I understand that there are some people who are falling into those credit repair businesses, and they genuinely have a good heart. They mean well. They got told that this was the right thing to do. But I can tell just from a couple of conversations with them, like, you don't actually do credit repair. You're not actually challenging these records. And so you don't really understand what you're doing. That's not a good fit. I'm never going to send my client that way. And so I was refreshed to find you. I was refreshed to find you, and that you actually do the work. Can you talk a little bit more about what that industry, what that particular type of credit repair person is versus what you do?
Absolutely. Okay. So there are companies that are multi-level marketing that do more of the marketing to bring you in to use a service that a larger scale corporation has. Some of the cons to that is paying $100+ to still do the work, right? So imagine paying $199 a month or $140 a month, and you still got to send your letters. You have to print your letters, and indifferent, you can just draft them for that matter, right? That's one of the most important things. What I've learned, because I'll be honest, when I first started in the credit industry, I actually learned how to do it, was afraid to step out, and I joined multi-level marketing. And at that moment, I learned that it wasn't what I desired because I wanted to help. And when I realized that I couldn't say as much, I couldn't give as many details, any information, and honestly, you have to understand the credit report to understand how to fix it. So if I don't know how it's calculated, if I don't know how it works, how it moves, how can I fix it? It's kind of like asking a doctor to do heart surgery and they didn't finish college. You wouldn't do it, right? And a lot of times that's the case. Even asking, and the way you prevent that is asking questions about building your credit. What does that look like? What does your program include? Do you mail the letters for me? Do we have an opportunity to sit and talk? Because what happens if my credit is fixed, but I don't change the behavior?
Come on, you don't get ahead of me.
You be doing it again.
Don't get ahead of me, y'all. Listen, this is a 3-night coaching, credit coaching series. So if you guys are following me over here on TikTok, we having a conversation on YouTube. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, you can see her on screen and you can actually ask questions in the chat. You're welcome to ask me here. I'll pop over here. But this is a 3-night credit series and we talk about different things every night. Tonight we talk about credit crisis mode. You got the letter, you're scared, you're nervous. What do I do? And you're at risk for being scammed when you're feeling that way. Thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Double tap the screen for me so we can make sure we get this live out. We want people in rooms talking about real things. I've been seeing everybody on live talking about Nicki Minaj, Cardi B all damn day. I've been one of those people also consuming, but baby, I get into real rooms, real conversations, talking about something. Okay, I get into that while I'm trying to distract myself from the regular work. Okay, thank y'all for clocking back into y'all real life. Now that you have clocked out of somebody else's dream. On Thursday night, I definitely want to get more into that conversation about cyclical credit behavior. While I have the audience here, I would love for y'all, if you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Ask your questions in the chat because she may be able to answer them tonight. And if they don't, we may spend a block and add it to our conversation in another night. So ask your questions because you know how I feel. Closed mouths don't eat crab legs, okay? So eat good tonight, okay?
And then also
that's some foodie, fat back, big back behavior.
My type of carrying on.
Yes. I got to be specific. Okay.
And I'm going to tell your following too, if y'all have questions, ask, whether you're watching on the replay or whether you're watching it live. If it can't get answered today, that gives me and Coach B another opportunity to, whether it's even pre-recorded, to just go through answering some of these questions for you. We'll be able to do that. Like she said, come to the other sessions as well. Even if you're not in that particular situation, it's always good to learn the knowledge because somebody else might need it in the future. So don't be scared to ask because we're all trying to do the same thing here, okay?
Yeah, I want to get into some more questions, but I know for a fact that I don't have a selfish community. I don't surround myself with selfish people. I don't got selfish siblings. I don't got selfish parents. I don't got selfish cousins. I don't got selfish friends. And so I know that my community, now my clients ain't selfish either, all right? I know that my community are givers. I know that for a fact. In fact, that's probably one of their biggest budgeting problems. They don't have boundaries, right? They overgivers, okay? But this is the one time where you can be generous with your giving. The way you're going to be generous with your giving today, if you're not selfish, and I know y'all good budget besties, is you're going to share this live right now while we live, okay? That's how you be generous. You know, I'm sitting here enjoying all this information. I got about 1,000 friends who probably need to hear this too, but I'm going to be selfish and stay on here for myself. Don't be like that. Don't be that girl, okay? Hit the share button right now while you live. That way your friends have an opportunity to hop in here too and join the conversation. And if you have done that, say, done it, friend. Okay, done it in the comments. Done it in the comments. So I know that y'all not out here being selfish because I know y'all, I just believe in y'all. I know your mama raised you better than that. My mama raised me better than that. That's why I'm on here. I could have kept Talisha to myself. Okay? I could have kept it for me and my paid clients. But here we are on a Monday night talking to y'all. Okay. Y'all, let's get into the questions. Thank you, Dunny. Okay. I'm gonna let Tika help y'all out in the comments. She said done it, so we're gonna move on. Okay, I have some questions because you and I have been loving how AI has been helping us be more efficient in our business. Okay, we love the tech. I got a love-hate relationship with tech. Tech pissed me off before this live, but I love it in some other ways, okay? And so I want to have the conversation around AI and credit repair work because people keep asking me if they can use AI tools like ChatGPT to write their dispute letters or to figure out what to say to creditors. Should people be using AI to help them navigate credit disputes, or should they leave that to the pros? And if AI can help, what's one prompt that everyone should know?
Great question. Okay, so yes, I will encourage using AI for your dispute letters because it's better than going out on a whim. You remember the question that we had before of what do I say? What next? Chat can help you there, right? The way that you use it, I'm going to always say this. You still have to be you have to have that mindset. You still have to be really cautious of getting the letters drafted and not understanding what you're asking, right? And be very specific. If there's no, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there's no specific prompt that you need, but you train chat to work with you, right? What is it? And why do I say this? You have to first know how to read your credit report. What's happening? Because while there's a FDCPA that talks about debt collection and what that looks like, there's also the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's saying that anything on my credit has to be reported fair and accurately, right? So if I'm looking at my credit report and I see 3 different accounts that have 3 different balances, is that accurate? No, because there's no way I owe one company 3 different amounts. There's something wrong. What you have to do is pull your credit report, show it what details are inaccurate, whether you're highlighting it. And that's how you train chat to understand where you're going with this direction, right? Upload it. Here are the inaccuracies. And then you tell it to use the USC, United States codes that go to what it is that you're trying to do. Go download the FDCPA book. If there is a law, hey, the collection agency contacted me at 6:59 and they shouldn't have. What is the United States code for that? Go research. Have it incorporate and then have chat to ensure that it's aggressive and include the correct verbiage to go with your invoice. Because if you know they're violating your rights, it's not no, oh, well, maybe this time, no, they violated your rights. They're going to collect their money. You collect yours. Include that invoice, include the United States codes. So that way you can tell them this is what you violated. This is what you violated. This is what you violated. If they violated three laws, that's $3,000. It's a violation per law that you broke. It's $1,000 per violation, not in general.
Some of y'all been waiting for tax season. You really just need to wait for the mail. Okay. You really need to just wait on your next phone call.
And I think, Coach B, one thing I want to do, because this conversation is always exciting, maybe one day with your community, I do want to show them how to identify errors on a collection letter. Because watch this, y'all. Would you believe me if I told you, when you get that letter in the mail, let's be honest, most collection letters have no logo on it. It's a white envelope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
Privacy. Exactly.
Imagine if a collection agency comes and they send you a collection attempt with their logo in the top left-hand corner. Mm-hmm. That's a violation.
Violation.
How is it a violation? Because if I go get your mail, if I go get Coach
I know you owe somebody. You know by the name of the company. Some of y'all know these credit collection companies' names by heart. You're like, as soon as I see the name, like, oh, that's because I know the medical data collector. You know, okay?
Exactly. Now, what if I was a person that was built on morals? I mean, I'm a credit coach, right? So, what if my morals were my friends can't owe anybody? Now I've ended my friendship because I know that my friend owes a collection agency. What did you do? You impacted my livelihood by telling my business without my permission.
Mm-hmm.
If they email you, if they text you and put that information in the text, how do they know that's still your number? Mm-hmm. If they contact Coach B on behalf of my debt and tell her everything and tell her to tell me to call them, They violated my right to privacy.
How many of y'all have gotten a call? How many of y'all have gotten a call from a bill collector trying to contact somebody in your family? Say me in the chat. Me in the chat. Me in the chat. If you've ever gotten a call from a bill collector about somebody else's debt. Hey, we're trying to reach so-and-so. Somebody say it in the chat because I know it. I've been contacted. Me. I don't know a person who hasn't been contacted by somebody about somebody else's debt. Okay? Y'all, if y'all picking up what she's putting down, are y'all coming back on Wednesday? Are y'all coming back on Wednesday? I'm sorry about the late start today. Hello. Sorry, I'm late. That's okay, baby. I'm gonna keep the replay up for a week. My community, y'all got it forever, or as long as y'all in the community anyway. Speaking of which, I heard you throw something out there for the community. Y'all, let me tell you about the perks of membership, okay? The perks of membership is I actually have a pro come in once a month. Once a month, I'm either gonna have a live conversation like this, but the people in the community, y'all get Zoom, like y'all get to come up and ask question time. And so I would love for you to do that, to show us in our community. Our next cohort starts October 20th. Okay. Our next cohort starts October 20th. So I would love for you to pop in maybe in November to our community. Last cohort, we had a credit repair specialist. A career coach come in as our pro. So every cohort, I have a pro come in, and I would love for you to be our pro for this cohort coming up. So for those of you guys who are wondering what I'm talking about, it's the Love Yourself Back to Wealth coaching group. It's a 8-week intense coaching program. The link is in my bio, and y'all gonna get to have a little more intimate time with Talisha. You see y'all in the chat, but in the meantime, in between time, I brought her to y'all, so I hope y'all show up on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. Now I'm not gonna hold her hostage for too long because I know she got to go get her baby. So I got 2 more questions. Can I hold you for 2 more questions? I got it. Okay. So what's some underrated resources or tools that people need to know about other than using Chat GPT? I know you talked about downloading the guide. Is there any other resource that you think that people are underrating that could be helpful with managing your credit?
Well, yeah, managing and repairing my ebook. I
Come on, in there. Plug it, friends.
It's called the Rapid Dispute Guide. And not only do I teach you how to identify your errors, I also teach you in that guide how to dispute. And it also includes 70 dispute letter templates, something that you can use as a foundational start, right? But also the FTC website, CFPB website. These websites, not only do they provide you with different credit information and updates, but it also gives you a lot of financial literacy as well. A lot of templates. I actually have a few kits that I got from the CFPB, not the FTC, I'm sorry, that are financial toolkits. So there's so many different pieces of information on there that can give you and keep you updated on tax laws, changes, and most importantly, a lot of these different lawsuits that are happening. I'm pretty sure we've all heard about the credit bureaus and being sued recently. These are pieces of information that they put on these particular sites early, or they put them when they happen. That'll keep you educated on those things as well.
Thank you so much. Now, for the person who's watching this, who is in crisis mode right now, and they feel hopeless, and they're not really sure how to take a first step, and they don't even know what that step is. What's one small thing that they could do tonight to start turning things around?
Annualcreditreport.com. That's a start. And it sounds crazy, it sounds cliche, but how do you know what to fix if you don't know what's there, right? Annualcreditreport.com is going to give you your full credit report the way lenders see it, because Credit Karma, your other credit monitoring apps don't show you everything in detail. I had a client that was literally in this situation, right? And a lot of times it's not necessarily that we don't know, is that we have so much balled up that we don't go for it. And we get afraid because of the lack of knowledge. Figure out where you are. Get with a professional that can teach you something if you don't know it, right? Pull your credit report. There's people who've realized that they've had an easier way to be assisted because they didn't even know that they were a victim of identity theft because they didn't look at their credit. One of the first things that you need to look at is your personal information. Well, that doesn't make much sense, Coach T. It's not going to change my score. Don't focus on the score. Focus on the report, right? If you have an address for, I seen some Jersey people, we have Virginia, we have Tennessee. If you've never lived in Virginia, you've never lived in Jersey, you've never lived in Tennessee, but you have those addresses on your credit, one of the contractual agreements between a creditor and the credit bureaus is that they have to give information to get it, which is why we do a credit application. So if I've given you this information, they've given it to the credit bureaus. Meaning, if you have an address from Texas and you've never lived there, that means somebody applied for something in your name using that address. You could have been a victim of identity theft. If your name is misspelled or it has something totally different than what you've been named, that could strike a red flag for you. All these things are things that you can start off with a simple conversation. Call the credit bureaus and say, the only name I'm associated with is one name. And if you're a business owner, I recommend that you have your employer as your business because you may change your 9 to 5 every year. But if you're keeping and holding on to that business, it makes it a little bit easier when you're thinking about capital and when you're thinking about things like that. Make sure your phone numbers, your addresses, your names are all, and your employers are all up to date. That's something you can do in 24 hours with a simple phone call. Take the time to do it, right? Once you've done that, then you have time to take the other steps and connect with someone that can answer those questions for you because you're going to have them.
Thank you. You know what? You bringing up identity theft made me think of a question I wanted to ask you. Because I think it's a little harder as family. Sometimes your credit gets messed up by somebody you love. When your mama put stuff in your name as a kid, or your partner left you behind with debt, it creates a different kind of pain. How do you navigate that without destroying your relationship? Or even if you don't care about the relationship, how have you seen this show up and how do you navigate that?
I've even had it in a personal experience. So I can definitely speak to that as well. You know, it can impact you a lot. But one of the things that I tell my clients all the time, because at the end of the day, when they decide to join my program, I'm there to service them, not everybody else, right? You have to, what is the name of your cohort? Love yourself back to wealth, right?
Right.
You have to love you enough. They knew what they were doing when they did it. Love is love. Love is an action, right? So sometimes you have, and you may not know who did it. If you were a victim of identity theft, you have certain steps that you can take. Submitting an identity theft affidavit. You don't have to file a police report. Submit that affidavit. It asks you if you know who did it. Tell the truth. You know, I believe so, or I don't know. Go through that. It's also a conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation, right? If you've taken the steps, hey, are you going to satisfy this debt? No. Okay. I'm going to have to take the proper steps because neither am I. Right? This is not a debt that I incurred. And that's just what has to happen. A lot of times we mess up because, like you said, your community is a giver's. So is mine. So I have to have this conversation a lot that you have to give more to you too. You want that new house. You want that new car. You want that new business, with capital. You want to be financially stable, and you just can't do it because you got Xfinity, you got Dominion Energy, and an old repossession that you shouldn't have had because you were only 18. How did I get this? Right? That's not you. It's one thing to fix a crisis or a situation that you create. It's another thing to try to figure out how you fix something that you didn't. So I always encourage, take the steps that the steps are there. Submit that affidavit. If you know who it was and they don't want to fix the behavior, you have to do what you have to do for you.
Okay. Y'all heard her, y'all. Y'all heard her. I know these are uncomfortable conversations, and I've had these conversations with clients who, you know, especially when it's a parent, and that's a very hard conversation, hard situation to navigate because they don't want to get the parent in trouble. And they have empathy for the life stage that the parent might have been. They might have been struggling, and it was the only way to create to have utility services. And so these are the type of situations where financial progress often has to be paired with therapy because there are big emotions around them, and you want to have someone who can help you navigate that part too.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation. This was so freaking good, and I cannot wait until Wednesday. I'm sad about the day break that we got to have in here, but I'm sad, okay? But hopefully y'all coming back on Wednesday, guys. If you guys have already done so, I want y'all to go to my YouTube page and set the alert, notify me button on the next 2 lives, so you don't even got to wait, okay? You don't have to worry about remembering. You don't got to worry about ADHD brain, okay? I want y'all to, at 9 to 5, as soon as you clock out of your 9 to 5, once you clock back into your own life, your own dreams, your own vision, your own goals, your own financial health, at 5 o'clock here, okay, with me and Coach T. All right. Talisha, thank you so much for dropping some game tonight. I know you got to pick up your baby. I want you to just tell him real quick. Tell them where they can find you if they want to. If they're like, listen, I already know I want to talk to you some more. Okay, I'm gonna come back on Wednesday. I'm gonna come back on Thursday. I'm gonna come into the group and talk to you inside of the group. But I want to talk to you also on the sidebar today. How can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at t.chonece, CHONECE. Facebook is Talisha Chonece, or just type Coach T. I promise you'll find me. And then if you want to get information on building and repairing your credit, I have a free community on Facebook called the Legacy Group, where I teach you raw and uncut how to repair your credit for free. Most of the time, I try to make sure that when you come to me, you've tried it yourself. So I give enough information in there for you to focus on credit building, leveraging your credit, how to use other people's money, and how to repair your credit. So if you have questions, come on. I answer them in that community. Come join us so that you can actually get the understanding of how to build and repair your credit without the feeling of being embarrassed about taking this next step.
Thank you. Budget besties, I want you guys to remember this. Credit crisis is not the end. It's a moment. It's just a moment in time. You've got rights, options, and resources, and now you know a little bit more about how to use them. If you want to work directly with Coach T, I encourage you to comment below. If you can't find her page, I'll tag her to make sure that she finds you. If you are ready to rebuild your systems so that this never happens to you again, that's exactly what I help you guys do inside of Love Yourself Back to Wealth. But you don't have to miss Wednesday night, because you can go ahead and hit the notify me button to make sure that you come back. But if you do miss it, I will make sure the replays are available for a week. So, and the reason why I'm doing that, y'all, is because I want y'all to take actions. I don't want y'all hemming and hawing. I'm going to take it down because y'all playing around with y'all life, and I don't want you to. So you got 7 days, and then only the community will be able to have replays. Okay. So we're going to break down on Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about what happens when the credit crisis situation goes too far and bankruptcy becomes the only option left. So we're going to break down what it is, what it isn't, and how to rebuild even after bankruptcy. So again, set your alarms, bring your notebooks, bring your questions, and come back for session 2 of the Unfuckable Credit series. You are not just fixing your credit. You are taking your power back. You are not just fixing your credit. You are taking your power back. And I love that for you. I will see y'all then. Bye.
Bye, everybody.